Hello! Today's stories come from r/EntitledPeople. We've got a multi-part Karen story with 2 updates and then a final update. Karen demands service my company doesn't offer. I work part-time for a company that rents accessible vans for those peeps who need it due to being wheelchair-bound. Think Hertz or Enterprise of wheelchair-accessible vans. I've worked off and on with them for 4 years. While I'm a 40-year-old female, I'm in school for my physician's assistant. I am almost done with school. Woohoo! This job is a small company, family-run business, and my boss is an awesome boss. She 99.9% of the time knows that the customer is in the wrong as our calls are recorded. We get some of the most entitled people ever. A little backstory that is relevant and will come into play later. I was in the military and was severely injured while serving my country on a deployment. This injury left me in a medically induced coma for 3 months while my broken back and neck healed. As well, a few holes in my body from shrapnel. It also unfortunately left me wheelchair-bound for several months after as I regained my motor and neurological function. I literally had to teach myself with OT, PT, ST, and MT how to eat, speak in full sentences, write, etc. again. So I, out of anybody in my company, know what a great service this is. Now on to my story. It's a call I received last night in the middle of the night. I work the mid-grave shift, and I am basically on my own to make decisions, check the customers in and out, give them airport parking locations, help with customer problems and complaints, as well as explain to people who call, we are not a medical transport company. I must get these calls 3 to 4 times a night, every night I work. We actually rent the vehicle for someone to drive their loved one, friend, or whatever around. We are not open for reservations or anything other than getting the customers into the vehicle. It's basically an on-call position after 6 p.m. Monday to Sunday, it says. This when you call the recording. So I can sleep, watch TV, whatever, as it's all remote positions. Last night, a lady calls at about 2:30 a.m. We will call her emergency room Karen. Well, ERK says after I answer the phone call after being woken up, "Were you sleeping? How unprofessional." Excuse me, ma'am, but I am an on-call remote position and I am very much allowed to sleep. Whatever, so I need someone to come pick me up now. Knowing right away she thinks we're a transportation company, I'm sorry, but we don't offer that service, and tell her what we do offer. Do not give me that shit. You just don't want to do your job. You need to get someone out here to pick me up at such and such ER now. I have VID and C. diff, communicable and gross. C. diff, also known as C. difficile, is a germ bacterium that causes severe diarrhea and colitis, an inflammation of the colon. Ma'am, like I said, we don't offer that service. You need to ask the hospital for a number to a non-medical transport. Listen here, you little bitch. Get someone here now. Google said you were a non-medical transport and I want someone out to this ER now. This is when she drops the most disgusting statement ever. You don't know what it's like to be in a chair and have issues walking. Now get your ass in gear and get me that ride, you stupid idiot. Ma'am, I will be disconnecting this call. Have a good morning. I hang up. Less than 10 minutes later, she calls back. This time, she has found a security officer to help her. Ma'am, this is Officer J with XYZ Medical Center and ER. This patient says you called her at R, a word that is so messed up, and said she could wheel herself home for all you care, and a beaner. Sir, no, that's not what went down. I filled him in and told him we record all our phone calls, and as I told her, we do not offer the service she's looking for. Well, you need to find her a ride. This isn't our issue. You need to find her a ride now. Actually, no, I don't, nor is it my responsibility to do so. He says he's going to call the police on me. I let him know, please be my guest, and do so. He hands the phone to ERK. I need a ride now. I told you already you don't understand what it's like not to be able to get in a regular car and go. I'm disabled and in a wheelchair. At this point, this is the 3rd time she's made this comment. Ma'am, first off, we do not offer the service you're looking for. Secondly, you keep making the comment to me, I don't know what it's like to be in a chair. We are on the phone. You have no clue if I'm in a wheelchair or not. Nor do you know if I've ever been in one. Not that I owe you the courtesies of an explanation, but I was in a wheelchair and I was clinically dead more than once. So you go ahead and call the cops. Hell, you could tell Jesus himself to tell me to come get you. It will not change the fact we don't offer the services you need. I hang up and block her from our phone system. About 20 minutes later, a call from an unknown number calls. I think it's her again. Nope, this crazy chick somehow convinced this security officer to call the police. Cops asked me what happened. I explained to him the whole story and tell him the calls are all recorded. He's more than welcome to listen to the recording, and he tells me that won't be necessary and to have a good night. I think this is the end of it, But of course it's not. My boss texted me today to call her, so I do, and she asked what happened with that call last night. I tell her to listen to the recordings. She does, and I haven't heard anything else about ERK. This is just a taste of the types of crazy calls I get every night I work. Just some things I didn't mention. In order for someone to get to me, they have to listen to a recording and hit an extension. This crazy Karen actually hit the urgent option that cuts into another call I'm on with an actual customer. We all know this isn't going to end here. Lucky for us, there's 3 more updates, and surely those recordings only captured half the crazy. But first, a few comments. Probably not a real security guard. He pretty much gave it away when he threatened to call the cops on OP for not providing a service they don't provide. Karen, no doubt, just found a dude standing nearby and told him to pretend. Karen needs to go back to the home so they can give her the nice crazy meds and put the nice huggy jacket back on. Clearly she escaped. Don't forget to ask cops for security guards' names so you can report if they weren't fake. OP. Probably a failed police academy recruit. Pfft, that's what my husband said. I have his name, good idea. I should report him. Update 1. So I did call the hospital at the advice of some of you guys to report Mr. Jackass Wannabe Popo. He's in fact not security, but get this, a janitorial/environmental management staff member. The hospital asked me if I could identify the woman anyway. We have caller ID, and it will sometimes show the name on it. Okay, please see if you can find her name or give us her phone number. It's 284-241. Her name was Karen Bitface, and by the way, we do record the calls. All of them? All of them. So it's what I thought. That was Janitor Dickface's wife. She apparently is a frequent flyer. She comes in a lot. Honestly, he probably shouldn't have told me that, but meh. He takes my statement and says he will get back to me Monday about the results of the inquiry and if I'd like to take action. Well, this chick has gone on Yelp, Google, Twitter, and Facebook to slam our company. My boss had the best reply. She said, "I am sorry for your inconvenience of confusing a specialty rental car company with a transportation company. Also, I apologize my CSA didn't let you treat her like garbage and held her ground. I'm sorry you were a miserable human being and treated her like shit, and I'm sorry we recorded it all and can upload it here if we'd like." Entitlement is an illness. It has to be. I'll let you guys know Monday how shit goes down with Janitor Dickface. What a reveal! The janitor! And now for some comments as the story continues to unfold. Is Janitor Dickface a dickface just because of how he called you? I'm totally on board with that, by the way. Or do the hospital peeps think he's a dickface as well? I know they wouldn't, probably, come out and say that, but did you get the feeling it was implied, especially with his wife being a regular visitor? Because if so, that might be the final bit to trash him and sweep all their problems away. OP. It was implied, and I felt the admin was also sympathetic. I mean, what kind of person does that garbage? She probably has his balls in a sling. It seemed they were also implying maybe Munchausen. They can't get personal and violate HIPAA or PHI, but tone and inflection give everything away. Karma is a beautiful thing. Munchausen syndrome is when someone tries to get attention and sympathy by falsifying, inducing, and/or exaggerating an illness. This is even more petty and bizarre than a military wife trying to use her husband's credentials to get people to capitulate. OP. Haha. Yeah, Dependosaurus Rex is pretty tame compared to this heifer. No, she did not. The entitlement. Update 2. Okay, so it's here, the resolution to crazy lady calling my work demanding we provide her service we don't offer. I have linked original story and update 1. The time zone there and where I am are a few hours apart, so it's later in there. I was actually sleeping when the HAS hospital admin guy called me. He did so at 8 a.m. my time. I was passed out as it's my Monday and I work tonight. He left a voicemail and he also left his cell, so I tried the office number, no answer. So I tried his cell, no answer. I left him a voicemail, was going to go back, 9 when he called. Hello? Hi, this is blank blank from XYZ Medical Center. Is Mrs. Havaducky there? Yep, this is her. Hi, so we heard back from Janitor Dickface. Oh, and? He is trying to deny it. He also doesn't know we have the recording. Okay, so can you give me an update with what you're going to do when you do it? We're actually hoping you can play the recording for the room. Oh, my pleasure. Do you need your boss present? I said I better, just to CYA. Boss enters on 3-way. Okay, just one sec while I transfer it to the conference room. Silence. Beep, beep. Hi, Mrs. Hevaducky? Mrs. Boss Lady? You ladies there? Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here as well. So, face janitor, you deny being near your wife or getting on the phone? Hospital admin staff, she's lying. I was in the north section of the hospital. Hospital admin staff lets him dig his hole a little deeper until he's had enough and says, "You do know we have cameras all over this campus, correct?" "I know, but I swear I wasn't there." Ladies, can one of you play that recording of the call? I am internally giggling and just reveling in the fact that these two douche nozzles are going to get what they deserve. I hear the call queue up. My boss is playing the recorded call. It plays, and I kid you not, it's crickets. The man's voice is cracking as he ekes out an apology. I personally am torn with what we're going to do. On the one hand, you impersonated a security officer, while I'm unsure if that's an actual crime like impersonating a police officer. I do understand you are dealing with some hardships. Sir, okay, it was me, and I should have been honest from the start, but as you know, my wife is, well, kinda nuts. She was just trying to get a ride home as I couldn't leave as I had no more emergency PTO or sick leave. As you know, Mr. Hospital Administrator, she has lots of health issues from having vid multiple times, C. diff, and... This poor bastard lets the word vomit just fly. Okay, so I am pretty conservative by nature and reserved when it comes to my job. I don't speak out of turn when talking to a customer, or am I disrespectful to customers unless they get stupid. Then I'll let my CSA freak flag fly. But this guy sounded beat down by the world, or more so, his wife. I somewhat sympathized with this guy. Mr. Hospital Administrator, can I ask a question? Yes, go ahead. What I don't understand is why in the world did you not listen when I told you and your wife multiple times that we did not offer transportation services? When I said multiple times we were a specialty vehicle rental company. I believed my wife. Okay, well thank you for your time, DF Janitor. We'll get back to you with our decision. Hangs up. Mrs. Hevaducky, what resolution would you like to see come out of this? Honestly, I think he should be reprimanded, but I don't want to see someone lose their job over a stupid decision. I am sure you can't tell me if he's done anything like this before, but has he been a good employee? Yes, honestly, I've never had a complaint until now. I don't wish for him to be fired, maybe just written up. Can I get back to you later today on what exactly I'd like to see? Hospital administrator said okay, that would be fine, and thanked me, and we hung up. Honestly, I felt bad for this guy. I mean, his wife honestly was the main instigator, and she was the one who called the cops, so I don't want to see this guy fired. I do feel he should be written up. What do you guys think? Did he believe his wife? I don't know. He even admitted she was crazy, and I think he probably knows by now not to cater to her whims. Let's hear what everyone else thought. Damn, dude. I feel for him, but I hope he's learned his lesson on trusting his wife's word. OP. I'm on the fence, and I honestly don't want to see this guy fired. I've been following this story, and OP did a great job at every step. I am curious about why a company would let a non-employee have input on how they discipline their employees. It's not something that typically happens. It's just unusual. OP. It's more of a how do I feel they should handle it, as in I'm pretty sure they've made their mind up. I have been asked before with my company when dealing with customers who are upset what resolutions they would like to see, even though my boss has made her mind up already. She did try to defame you, the hospital, posted on social media, etc. There can be no light punishment for that. And he backed her up till the moment he was proved to be the guilty party. They both thought they could get away with it. They went after your job and tried to get a criminal charge on you. So you may want to try to be the bigger person here, but think about what would your life have been if you didn't have that recording and your boss and company did not back you. Now think of the number of people they ought to have bullied and scammed in a similar manner. Do the right thing. Let them face the consequences of their actions. They are adults, not kids. OP. Very true. I honestly think he's done, and she's probably 86 from this particular ER. And now for the final update. The hospital admin soup called me about 2.5 hours ago, just now, had a chance to post. So the janitor was fired. While I feel bad, I have mixed emotions as what he did was wrong, and I know that. I don't like the thought something I was involved in got someone canned. Anyhow, the admin basically said they took some of my opinion into account. He was fired, but they did give him some severance as he had been with the hospital for a long time. I believe they had him resign, is what I understood, so it didn't look bad when he goes to get another job. So that closes this entitled Karen story out. Pandasaurus Rex was a liability. Frickin' Karens. This guy's lucky he got a severance, and I don't think OP should feel bad at all. Bottom line is that it was his actions, and more to the point, his wife's, that led to this. It's fine to feel regret at what happened to him, but it is ultimately their fault, not yours. Honestly, expect a call from her tonight. I hope I'm wrong, but my bet is she's going to think her husband is your fault. People like that can never accept responsibility. OP. Her number's been blocked from the system, and I have been given specific instructions if she calls from any number, block it. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.